The People's Liberation Army of Namibia wasn't well resourced to launch a successful conventional war against a well-equipped and ruthless South Africa war machine consisting of ground forces supported by tanks and air force aided by reconnaissance teams. The struggle for Namibia's independence started with political mobilization at home and petitions to the United Nations, and when this did not deliver the desired results, the armed struggle was launched while diplomatic efforts continued. 73-year-old Tuliameni Kalomoh is one of Namibia's seasoned diplomats. He too had gone through all degrading treatment of the colonial regime. He left the country to fight from outside and served as SWAPO representative to Zambia at the age of 28 and later in Senegal, France and India. Though he was not a negotiator, he lobbied international governments to isolate South Africa, impose sanctions and arms embargoes, and campaigned for all sorts of support.
When you came to our camps, health and education centers, you had the foreign doctors there, really being beaten by mosquitoes, but they were determined to work there, free.
Samuel Sefishuna Daniel Nyuma, a village boy who grew up to become a revolutionary leader, was head of diplomatic arms since 1960. Nyuma and others, some who already departed this earth, sat at negotiation tables and mobilized for international support.
With the imposition of Bantustans on the Namibian people,
the isolation of South Africa worked, resulting in the general public in Europe, America, Oceanic countries and Asia compel their governments to change their policies towards South Africa.
Countries like Algeria, countries like Libya, you can rely on their supplies.
Zambia, Botswana, Tanzania were part of the family of frontline states in mobilizing the Organization of African Unity, and as a result, in 1972, an OAU summit in Rabat in Morocco, African leaders agreed that SWAPO should be designated the sole and authentic representative of the Namibian people. The resolution was adopted in 1973. Some African countries, America, Europe and Asia, also provided support to SWAPO, including weapons, ammunition, vehicles and other non-lethal military equipment, as well as moral support. Hage Geingob, as chief representative to the Americas and the UN, Theben Guruab and Hidipo Hamutenya, all then students at U.S. universities, petitioned at the UN. Dr. Nikki Yambo and Ben Amadila tackled the Nordic countries and Sweden respectively. In 1978, the UN Security Council passed Resolution 435, calling on South Africa to withdraw from Namibia and grant it independence. The colonial regime, however, ignored this and continues to illegally occupy Namibia. The decisive Battle of Kutokwana Valley in Angola in 1988 forced the South Africans to the negotiating table when it was agreed that free and fair elections be conducted, as envisaged in Resolution 435. The South African regime was exhausted, and in 1989, the UN Security Council's Resolution 435 ordered it to dismantle its colonial structures and give the country back to its people. SWAPO won the November 1989 elections, and Nyuma was sworn in as president in 1990. In the right corner, Nyuma and F.W. de Klerk of South Africa shared a table. Nyuma kept the smile as he waits to be called on to be sworn in, but on the other hand, de Klerk scratches his head in uncertainty of his life. Sefishuna sounded more independent as he sent de Klerk packing for good.
Namibia is forever free, sovereign and independent.